Most of them worked through it reasonably well. There really were some oral, pronunciation problems, but that was really the biggest issue, for the girls. And did you want to say something about the girls?
Just a bit of background on the girls that you might need to know. That there's about one student has been in the country for about 6 months, and the longest in Australia has been was Zara, and she's been here for about 3 years. Aisha, the one who took the microphone, I thought that was very confident of her, has had grade 6 in Australia and this year year 7, but prior to that was home for 2 years without schooling, looking after mum and dad who are now passed away in Afghanistan.
Wasn't she beautiful?
So that's just a little bit about the background.
Okay, so how do you think they went? I thought they went extremely well. Yeah.
But even in a normal lesson, like that would have been one lesson maybe, 1.5. They managed to read the whole play, understand new words, and left with a sense of understanding what they had read, and I think they enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
John, is there a situation like that? I mean, obviously, as a teacher, you personally obviously have read the play beforehand, you know what's coming up, which would have been useful, I think, perhaps to have had, for example, you mentioned the word cellophane.
Yeah.
Or what is it? A lot of those kids will want cellophane, have no idea what
Yeah.
And you could still say it's that paper that, and they're probably agreeing, you have to go know what it is. We don't really know for sure.
No.
So maybe they have a concrete object, but
Yep.
it was the right thing, cellophane or a piece of cloth that would make it easier for them.
Yep. No, I agree.
Visualise, exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree, John. I should have read through the story before.
Not the situation you would. I mean, you probably would have.
No, but I was going to, and I just got caught up at lunchtime. But yeah. But they made up for my lack of, well, in some ways, my lack of knowledge. The actions really can scaffold children's learning. The actions really can help students put together the ideas and learn, and learn things. Are there any other comments about the, or any points I would like to make, about the, other, the teaching, other things you think? Yes, go on.
It was really powerful for me for the first question you asked, and Aisha answered about the cover and what she felt about the pictures and what it meant by trick.
Yes.
Tiger, and how she explained that, their final sort of discussion on how it meant. For me, where they started to where they finished, that's learning.
That they really moved, and I think they've now got an idea that the tiger needn't only be a tiger with claws. I think they'd put that together. They put that together well.
Just seeing that aha experience when she finally understood what woven meant.
Yeah, thanks, Shirley.
No, reflection on how you did it.
Thanks.
No, it wasn't. It was just that we just assumed that the pennies finally dropped.
Yes.
Yeah. But as an outsider, Jay thought it was a fish. She said, I thought that was a fish.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think of that as weaving. I think of my mother's sewing machine, and that's weaving. I mean.
Also, how you explained the actions of getting knowledge ready, paraphrasing, and so forth. If they've seen that 3 times now, then you can sort of say, well, we call this paraphrasing. So next time when I say to you, can you paraphrase it? And so you can see how quickly that you can make the connection. And so when the kid goes, that's what I'm trying to tell the teachers, if we teach explicitly the word paraphrasing, get knowledge ready, you don't have to sit there explaining the actions all over.
No, that's right. No, that's right. Yeah.
I think vocab is a big issue with the ESL students in particular as well. For example, bounding, I think that was one of the words. What's another word we can say? But if they don't know the first, they don't know in context or that original word,
Yeah.
get a synonym for it.
Yeah. So, So it is going to be, I think we saw that they really can learn, but there were a lot of words in this text. You know, words like delegation, weaving, and dear old Lucy taking the woman, Tabata.
But even
But-
reading aloud, a lot of them were reluctant in the beginning.
Yes, yeah.
Because you read it with them and it was a non-threatening way. Towards the end, I think that even that other girl was speaking up more.
Yeah, no, she was. Song was, yeah,
She was got ESL kids reading aloud in a group full of teachers, so.
yeah.
Even the girl beside Jai, she was excited too when she was going to become the fluid. She sort of really picked her.
Yeah.
She could put a smile on her face that she had a role.
Yeah.
And it was great to see Jai helping the others. Like she was
Oh.
really, trying to help everyone, and that would extend her as well, I think.
Yeah, yes, it would. It would. I mean, they were just a beautiful group of girls. I mean, in the sense that they were a very cohesive group. They're in the same class all the time.
They are, that's the ESL class.
Right, and so they're very cohesive and you can see they're used to supporting each other and really helping each other. And they were nudging each other and things, and it was really good, it's sort of.
It was interesting to see at the start they sat in different places, and then one of the girls moved all the three Muslim girls to one end, and so I thought, they're, but then they sort of came together and worked together. But it was interesting at the start.
So what happened?
Well, they were about to sit in different seats, and then I think Jai moved the three Muslim girls down into the first three seats, so she had enough room to sit next to her. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was, I thought, it'd be just to see how they.
Well, if it was to sit next to Song, I think it was to support Song.
Maybe,
Because
that
she-
might have been the reason.
Yeah.
At the start, their friendship.
One class or separate classes? Separate classes, or six of them? Same class.
Yeah, so the art teacher I mean, was just itching when you started talking about cellophane and talking about weaving, that a fun activity to follow that up, which would also include supporting the vocabulary as to like a diorama as a fun sort of thing.
Yeah,
You'd actually
yeah,
make something
yeah.
up. So you would have the keyword cellophane weaving and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you'd have them relaying the story back as in terms of talking about what's going on in that
Yeah.
visual representation of what they've understood the story to be.
So as a comprehension activity, because we've put together the ideas now, we've comprehended it to some extent. As a comprehension activity, that'd be brilliant. To put together the fire and what it looked like, and the dog. But they really caught on. When I said to them, "Why do you think the dog leapt into the water?" At first they couldn't see why, but then the dog had burnt its tail, and so, and I could see their faces, that they were into it at that point. They could see where it was going. Look, are there any other points? You're welcome to say, why didn't you? More. Yeah.
I'm interested in the text that was chosen. How did you go about choosing the text? Is it matched to the girls' abilities? Is it part of your curriculum? That's an interesting question too, because George has left, and a couple of years ago, he was looking at it and thought that it would suit our ESL students, but then we don't know the next cohort that comes up, so we don't know their ability. But we've got a class set of them, and it is on the course to do. We can always, the students haven't bought it, so we can always change if it doesn't suit them for the next.
So is it only for ESL or mainstream as well?
ESL only are doing this at this stage.
Now, we might be surprised at some of the words in it. But then, all of these girls at the end told us, they all now know that barter means swap.
But John, I think that there were sufficient words in there that were accessible to allow, and that was the critical part of that text. And I contrast that with another Year 7 text
Yes.
and sort of think,
We thought it was inappropriate.
yeah, I thought that was great text, but it just makes you think then how do they go on and manage
Yes.
that?